When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can build, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Vote for peace, vote for love, vote for hope, vote for change. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can restore hope, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who lead with love, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
So let me announce the first measure of this caring government in this budget that will benefit every single citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. Today, Mr. Speaker, today, look at the glee on my face as I make this announcement. The previous PNM government has been unfairly overcharging citizens for super gasoline. On behalf of this UNC government, Mr. Speaker, I wish to announce that in our bid to build economic fairness, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisasa has instructed that effective immediately, the price of super gasoline at the gas station pump will be reduced by $1 per liter. Lest it be lost on the minds of those opposite, the average fuel tank is about 50 liters. This means that every time you go to fill up your tank, you will be saving $50 thanks to this reduction. When UNC wins, everybody.
When UNC wins, Trinidad wins.
And good night to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. When UNC wins, people in the studio tonight, who wins? Say it loud and clear. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinbago wins. Trinbago wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine.
Tell you.
Now is the time to decide.
If you want leaders who could rebuild, and if you want leaders who could
leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun on election day.
We voted UNC. One love, one. Listen, when UNC wins, Trinbago wins. When UNC wins, everybody win Trinidad and Tobago. Every man Jack won in this 2025-2026 budget. And we were telling everyone to wait until our budget. Let's go with the price of gasoline first in pictures. All right, let's go with some of the price of gasoline. Let's go. Let's look at this. The price, leave the overlays. The price at the pump slashed Trinidad and Tobago, at least for super gasoline. All right, $1 splashed off super gasoline. And I saw this post here with Tanku. We had to say Tanku very much, Trinidad and Tobago. Tanku very, very much for this type of budget. So not only did we slash the price at the pumps, all right, look at there, $1 for super gasoline, but also the most important, Public Service Association, the PSA, 10%, 10%, 10%. We have been waiting for a 10%. And you know, the opposition say that we can't deliver $15 billion deficit is what they tell us. And everybody had a $15 billion deficit. Colum Imbert lied to this nation. And the UNC government should ask that he go to the the Integrity Commission for that lie. For that $15 billion deficit lie that Colum Imbert lied to this nation. He should face them with that. Yeah? And we have the papers here still, right? Bring the papers. And we show them we have the proof. Because that man is a liar. The PNM today in shambles Trinidad and Tobago. Because they have been lying to you. That is what Devendranath Tanku said. When he slashed the price of the pumps, Devendranath Tanku said that the People's National Movement have been, typical style, stealing from the people of Trinidad and Tobago. You deserve your dollar, and the UNC-led administration is giving you your dollar at the pumps. They're giving it back to you. You can now save $50, at least up to $50 on super gasoline. Now we're talking vehicles. We all like to drive. This one, a shaking one, but it's a good thing for young persons who want to have a car. I mean, I have a PDW or PDY. Anyway, run it. Look at it. Foreign use vehicles, once again affordable under the United National Congress. The increased age limits on vehicles that you can import, and this is for private cars, SUVs, sedans, and wagons, from 3 years to 6 years. And then the increased limit for light commercial vehicles, pickup vans, panel vans, etc., from 7 years to 10 years under the United National Congress. You know what? Let me get our song director. Let them hear this song. Let them hear our song director. Play it. Play it for them. Restart that song. Come on. Restart that song quick. Because I want them to hear that song. And I want them to know when UNC wins, who wins? Who wins, director? Everybody wins.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to...
Exactly. It's really the time to decide in Trinidad and Tobago. You know what? The reason why it's time to decide is because there's no tax on private pensions as well. It means that even the pensioners win. Oh God!
One team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins,
The pensioners win. And when the pensioners win, know that the school children winning as well, because laptops.
vote for hope, vote for change. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine.
Most importantly, after the laptops, the next important thing on the list, it had to be roads, infrastructure. And infrastructure and all
By the rising sun. If you want leaders who lead with love, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream.
And we saying thank you to Mr. Devendranath. Thank you very much, Mr. Thanku. But most importantly, Trinidad and Tobago on this list is the people of Tobago. And I must say thank you very much once more, Minister Thanku, for allowing the people of Tobago to be given 6.3% of the budget. 6.3%. Once more, when UNC wins, who wins? Everybody wins.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can build, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream. On election day, vote UNC. One love, one team, one hope, one dream.
When UNC wins, Trinidad and Tobago wins. And that's the reality. That's the reality of voting in 2025. The young, graceful director voted for the first time. And what? Wait a minute, before the show, you say your family win? I mean, is that it? But anyway, education and training, 8.766% or $1 billion actually. Health, 8.214 billion. National security, 6.366 billion. Public utilities, 3.395 billion. Infrastructure, 1.943 billion. Rural development, 1.807 billion. Transport, 1.840 billion. Agriculture, 1.130 billion. Housing, 0.662 billion. Tobago, 3.72 billion. That is 6.3% of the budget. We are at a $59 billion budget, with a deficit not of 15 billion, but of $3.865 billion is what the deficit is at. So Colum Imbert blatantly lied to the people of Trinidad and Tobago and told the people that there was going to be a $15 billion deficit and that we should be running and we should be holding the government accountable and that the UNC cannot provide any of the campaign promises given. Well, today, Trinidad and Tobago, I think it is of great importance that today on Week in Review, we share some of the promises made, promises delivered speech by the United National Congress, by the Minister of Finance, Minister Devendranath Tanku, and he celebrated his birthday this month, so if this budget wasn't good, oh God. So let's take you to promises made and promises kept, Mr. Speaker.
While the former administration left them waiting for a decade, this government in just 150 days delivered land leases to more than 200 former Caroni 1975 limited. Promise made, promise kept. We secured landmark energy deals. We signed a historic agreement with ExxonMobil, which has the potential to strengthen Trinidad and Tobago's energy security. On the 8th of October 2025, we obtained the Office of Foreign Assets Control, the OFAC license from the United States Treasury Department to pursue development of gas on the Dragon Field. These advancements will attract significant foreign investments, create jobs, and unlock new revenue streams. Mr. Speaker, promise made, promise kept. We took the fight to the criminals, Mr. Speaker. We created 3 specialized ministerial portfolios: justice, defense, and homeland security, to prioritize targeted attention on zones of national security weaknesses. We have appointed a new commissioner of police who is leading an aggressive, coordinated attack and offensive against crime. And these results have been immediate. Murders and violent crimes are down by 40% compared to last year. Promise made, promise kept. We protected our citizens from floods. To correct a decade of neglect under the former administration, we launched a targeted flood mitigation and shelter management exercise with drain clearance, river desilting, embankment reinforcement, and road rehabilitation in flood-prone communities. Mr. Speaker, promise made, promise kept. We kept our promise to public servants by repealing the Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority Act and ending years of anxiety for public officers. Promise made, promise kept. We honored our elderly. We brought immediate relief to 6,400 senior citizens whose applications had been abandoned by the former administration. Promise made, promise kept. We put students first by completing repairs to 279 schools under the Accelerated School Vacation Repair Program and distributing 20,000 book grants ahead of the new school term, ensuring safe classrooms and stronger starts for our children. We are in the process of delivering 18,000 laptops to Form 1 students. Promise made, promise kept. We saved lives of children in June 2025 by amending and strengthening the Children's Life Fund Act We increased access to children battling life-limiting illnesses, including cancer, blood disorders, heart and kidney diseases, and more. Promise made, promise kept. We are reviving neglected facilities by initiating the rehabilitation and full operationalization of the abandoned Couva Children's Hospital, the National Therapeutic Resource Center at Carson Field, and the UWI Debe campus, left to rot by the last government. Promise made, promise kept. We upgraded public health care by restructuring the CDAP program to include new medicines and launching CDAP Plus for specialized drugs at affordable, regulated prices. Promise made, promise kept. And we are not finished yet, Mr. Speaker. We stood up for law.
Yeah, promise made, promise kept. They ain't finished yet, but I don't have all that time in my show. But promise made, promise kept by the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. I need that clip, so don't take off the audio yet. Listen, because when all of that going on, and I tell you, PNM was inside Parliament scared for the life, you know. PNM inside Parliament wondering how we going to oppose this, because they ain't coming to say that, yeah, government kept the promises. Penelope Beckles, leader of the rightful opposition, leader of the sinless opposition, leader of the opposition with integrity, opposition with a heart, opposition with such vigor in the bones, said that this was basically a smokescreen budget. Take a listen.
Fake and fraudulent. That was how opposition leader Penelope Beckles described this year's budget presentation by Finance Minister Devendranath Tanku. Now, both Beckles and former Finance Minister Colum Imbert agreed that the government overestimated the revenue that Trinidad and Tobago will earn through oil and gas. They said that pegging the budget at around $73 per barrel, when oil currently stands around $50, creates the opportunity for the government to dip into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund, this country's savings, to supplement its income. Now, they raised several questions about the introduction of taxes on alcohol and cigarettes, as well as imposing fines for driving under the influence of alcohol. Now, several members of the opposition did weigh in on this budget presentation. They said that the government, it cannot deliver on its promises. And according to Imbert, he specifically spoke to the 10% wage increase that was proposed for public servants. He said that it was not much different than what was proposed by the People's National Movement.
Listen, that is the most amount of hogwash, nonsensical things I have ever heard. Because the Heritage and Stabilization Funds that opposition leader Penelope Beckles want to talk about and say UNC got to tap into it for some revenue generation. It was created by the UNC. It was created by Basdio Pandey. So if UNC tap into the fund that UNC creates, I don't have a problem. I honestly do not. Because UNC does not have a history of tapping into the funds. Let me make that clear first of all. All right, make that abundantly clear. When Penelope Beckles saying that the government budget today was, what she say, was fake, well, I don't know, a smokescreen. Well, she didn't say smokescreen, but some nonsense. I didn't even care about it because we in a good mood, Trinidad and Tobago. We in a good spirit. But like she have a bad spirit, won't she? Because Penelope Beckles, I want you to know that it is the People's National Movement in 2016 that went into the Heritage and Stabilization Funds. Wait, okay, he done run it. Come back. I was going to say, if you don't believe me, look. So show it now. If you don't believe me, take off the CG bar. Penny, I hope you're watching, because by quick searches, Penelope Beckles via Google, maybe she just search Wikipedia, so she don't have the information we have. But first ever withdrawal was in 2016, Trinidad and Tobago. So if you look 2016 there, you would see a withdrawal from the Heritage and Stabilization Funds. All right? And this, the second withdrawal, was for COVID-19 between the period of 2020-2021. They said the government made multiple separate withdrawals from the fund to finance pandemic relief expenses. What were the expenses? Come back. What was the expenses, Penny? What was the pandemic expenses 2020-2021? I think they say fire officers couldn't get paid during that period, so they went into Heritage and Stabilization Funds to pay them. But anyway, I digress. Next set of withdrawals. Go run it. 2023-2024. Look at the bottom of your screen, Trinidad and Tobago. And next set of withdrawals. This continued in recent years through, though in smaller, more frequent increments than during the pandemic. In December of 2023, from what Google say, I mean the sheet here say 182, but from what Google say, it say US $168.38 million. And then in 2024, and that's December of 2024, another withdrawal of $1 billion, which is equivalent to US $147 million taken out, which means Trinidad and Tobago, on your screen here, you see at the bottom it says $369 million US taken out of the Heritage and Stabilization Fund. But you look at the UNC periods. All right, look at the UNC periods. Look in 2007, the lovely Basio Pandey, $321 million US dollars put in. Look again, 2008, over $1 billion put in Heritage and Stabilization. Look, is that Kamla Prasad Bisasa yellow there I see? Is that what I see? Is that what you see, Trinidad and Tobago? In 2010, $477 million. In 2011, we're in a recession, I think the country in a recession, $451 million. In 2012, and this is what was put in at Trinidad and Tobago, not taken out, what was put in, $207 million. Penelope Beckles, Penny, 1%. In 2013, $42 million. Penelope Beckles telling Trinidad and Tobago that the UNC is going to tap into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund that was created under the UNC to go and finance, not even projects, but as a revenue generator in Trinidad and Tobago. And then, it's Colum Imbert during the period 2022-2023 that did put money in the funds, right? But after Imbert put about $200 million, or you could say maybe $300 million in the fund, right? Just about. Look at the withdrawal at the bottom. Look at the withdrawal. In case you had to squint your eyes to see this Trinidad and Tobago, I will call it out for you. In 2022, Imbert put in $163 million. In 2023, he put in $182 million. Now, if you do simple mathematics, I will have to pull up a calculator because me doing this at all. Here we go. So if you do simple mathematics, Trinidad and Tobago, my director said it was 17 and 20 here on the calculator. I know where you're trying to, sorry. But if you do simple mathematics, 163 plus 182 is 345, right? Now you'll have a little bit of difference here because it have the 9994 and then the 213. So You could say 300 and not 300, about 400, right? Maybe 400. We get them $400 million, right? 400 million. If we say they put in $400 million between the period 2022 and 2023, Trinidad and Tobago, in 2024, they took out a total of $369,946,835. That means that the only amount PNM ever put into the fund over a 10-year period, Trinidad and Tobago, come back. Over a 10-year period, according to Calculator 101 on iPhone, this is not Samsung, they put in only just about $31 million. Just about $31 million. But 1 cent penny telling you that Kamala plan is to raid heritage. I want to say something, but run the picture. Let me not see my face. I will say it over the picture. Kamala and Bazio Pandey, God rest your soul, the UNC is the only administration, Trinidad and Tobago, that care about the people of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And even when all your dirty, stinking PNM, I ain't cuss. The time I watch my language. But when all your dirty, stinking PNM people out here, and I'm talking about the sycophants, not the ones like the director here who vote PNM and then switch. I'm talking about the ones that don't care about country, don't care about progress, and no matter what, calling I-95 or calling Slam 100.5 to talk this sort of garbage you're talking on the radio when people driving up the road, I'd just switch it off. To say that they budgeted a smoke screen and that people don't benefit and this and that and the other, when it is all your PNM people or your PNM government raiding the funds, where the money gone? But not just that. When all they say the UNC ain't working and the UNC is the worst party, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. Let me ask you, who put money in the Heritage and Stabilization Fund? You all know the purpose of the HSF Fund? You know the purpose, Director? The purpose of the Heritage and Stabilization Fund is a rainy day fund. And yes, COVID was a rainy day in Trinidad and Tobago. Look, the funds right there, they took out real money during COVID. I know how 2016 was rainy, because in 2016, as soon as he come in, Uber left. $3 million painting. They had to get new vehicles because Kamala Prado was smelling like vomit. And she was drunk and she vomited all over the Prado is what he say, and all kind of nonsense Rowley say. And then they shut down Petrotrin, so they had to take out money during that 2017 period to pay workers. Listen, real drama, you know. Real drama. Carini gone, Petrotrin gone, sugarcane gone. The only thing that didn't go was Rowley pay because he increased the pay but taking it out of heritage. But anyway, listen, they want to talk Trinidad and Tobago, they want to talk. And what I'm talking about this is Finance Minister Devendra Tanku today telling you the ills of the PNM and all the nonsense that they did to this very economy.
Speaker, promise made, promise kept. This is the first step in engaging with the wider public service. Mr. Speaker, promise made, promise kept. This is the record. This is the record of a UNC government that performs. The first 150 days have proven one thing for sure. When you put the UNC in charge, progress is inevitable. We were able to deliver all of these positives in extremely difficult circumstances. Let me show you the disastrous record of the last government. Real GDP growth in Trinidad and Tobago dropped from 3.7% in 2014 to 2.5% in 2024. Similarly, during this period, the economy shrunk by 17%, with real GDP falling from $187 billion in 2014 to $154.9 billion in 2024. This country's nominal GDP fell by 8.4% between 2014 and 2024, from $188.9 billion to $173 billion. Over the last 10 years of PNM policy, the amount of money owed by the country to local and foreign creditors increased by over 100%, from $67.9 billion, or 37.1% of GDP in 2014, to $140.7 billion in 2024. This represents, Mr. Speaker, 81.8% of our GDP in 2024. As a result of the PNM's financial bungling, 10.2% of the country's revenue is now required to service this debt. This obviously places a significant constraint on resources available for national development. In 2014, Mr. Speaker, this was a mere 4.2%. Today, it is 10.2%. The former Minister of Finance and the 10-day Minister of Finance took our country from a Standard & Poor's A-grade rated economy in 2015 to a BBB minus rating in 2024. These two incompetent individuals eroded our revenue streams, squandered our resources, and undermined confidence, leading to 7 downgrades in our ratings and outlook over 9 years. Over the same period, Moody's Investor Services downgraded us from investment grade in 2014 to junk status under them. Under the PNM, 70,600 jobs were lost. 70,600. According to the CSO, 636,800 people were employed in 2014. Mr. Speaker, by 2024, the PNM had reduced this to 566,200 people, which means that 70,600 persons were pushed into unemployment by the PNM. To put this into perspective, the population of Tobago is about 60,000. So the number of persons who were put on the breadline by the PNM was substantially greater than the entire population of Tobago East and Tobago West combined. Visualize that, Mr. Speaker.
Visualize that, Trinidad and Tobago. So, to put it into more perspective for you, in case you don't know the track record of the PNM yet, in 2014, the UNC left at 3.7% GDP. Now, it got contracted by just about 2.5% in 2024, a 17% decrease, Trinidad and Tobago. 17% is what the PNM, that is the PNM track record. That is the PNM track record for you. So when Penelope Beckles trying to come and say something to Trinidad and Tobago about UNC going into HSF, and they go take us to the IMF and all kind of nonsense. Whose policy was taking us there? It is only the PNM. It is only the People's National Movement. Listen, the phone lines are open, Trinidad and Tobago. Let me tell you now. Phone number to call is 483-3208. Once more, 483-3208 is the number to call. And let me know, let me hear from you about budget 2025-2026. Let me know if this is a good budget, how you think the budget is. Let me give the people the time to talk right now. Let me let you know Minister's watching tonight. Minister's watching tonight. This is a big program. You see, I had to bring on the martial voice. This is a big program. Come back to me, Director. 483-3208 is the phone number to call. You could WhatsApp the number if you don't have money on your phone. 483-3208 is the phone number to call. Don't be afraid. Your voice is the only thing that we're going to get. No video, nothing, all right? So the number is on screen. 483-3208 is the phone number to call. I have the good phone ready and waiting. You know, let time to write down that number. 483-3208. Remember that, right? So stay tuned. We're going for a quick break. When we come back, we're going to take some phone calls. But before we go on the break, while we're going on the break, actually, let's take you to budget, things that you can expect, what comes out of it. Dial the number, Trinidad and Tobago, and get ready to say your piece. Again, 483-3208. Take a look at budget 2025-2026.
Finance Minister Devendranath Thakur presented a $55 billion fiscal package boasting of promises made and promises kept. And while he could not escape a deficit, the government is promising to ease the economic burden by lowering prices at the pump. But alcohol and cigarettes could be going up, also increasing over the next few years. The retirement age. Kijan Haynes breaks it down.
Members of the public had been clear they did not want to hear an increase in gas prices in the budget, and today they got that wish with immediate effect.
Immediately, the price of super gasoline at the gas station pump will be reduced by $1 per litre.
Now, adding to savings, the government will remove VAT from basic food items like salt, morbi, and locally produced vegetables and fruits. And a major promise is being kept for public servants.
To advise the Chief Personnel Officer to submit a revised offer of 10%.
On employment, after laying off thousands of CPEP and URP workers, the government is promising a more long-term employment plan for them through an employment fund of $475 million, which will be used with $310 million for job creation. Thakur promised the Prime Minister would explain more. But the government giveth and the government taketh away.
80% of the projected revenue increases are attributable to customs duties on rum and spirits, beer and tobacco products.
Those steep increases in custom duties on alcohol and tobacco, along with higher fees on containers and customs declarations, are expected to generate an additional $1 billion in revenue. The government is also increasing penalties for various offences. Driving violations such as careless driving and driving under the influence now will set you back $15,000. Now, these measures, effective January 1st, are expected to generate an additional $180 million in revenue. There's also now a phased increase in national insurance contributions. The first 3% rise takes effect on January 5th, 2026, followed by a second 3% increase on January 4th, 2027. It spreads the burden over 2 years. And the age for receiving a full National Insurance System or NIS pension, better known as the retirement age, will gradually increase from 60 to 65, beginning in January 2028. The change will be phased in over a 10-year period, with the retirement age rising by 1 year every 2 years until it reaches 65 in 2036.
There will be no change for anyone who retires at age 60 before January 1st, 2028.
And Tobago may be celebrating today as government announced $2.96 billion to the THA, which represents a full 5% of the national budget. But with an additional ministry spend, it comes up to...
In total, then, the allocation to Tobago for the fiscal year 2026 will be $3.72 billion, which equates to 6.3% of the national budget.
Once again, education, health, and national security make up the top three allocations. Total revenue is estimated at $55 billion, with a fiscal deficit of $3.8 billion, or 2.17% of GDP.
What if we told you that one course could boost your child's performance in every SCA paper? That's why Learn Smart TT has created an online comprehension and poetry course. This is completely self-paced with all tools accessed online. It's 30 passages, 30 poems. They can be downloaded or answered on our site. From there, students get access to answer sheets that have detailed options of how the answers could have been written. No other product on the market has this. In addition, they get access to a video tutorial with an expert teacher walking them through the passage or poems using high visuals and techniques to ensure they derive meaning. Also, we model how we derived each answer so they can do the same. If you want your child to enjoy all of these benefits and propel in comprehension, SCA, and general academic life, click the link above and register for this course and join hundreds of parents and students who are benefiting.
Welcome to SNS Facade Group of Companies, a dynamic community-driven group serving multiple industries with excellence and integrity. At SNS Facade Supermarket, we're committed to community, providing vessel export delivery, custom food services, local delivery, wholesale solutions, fresh produce, in-house bakery, and premium meats. Discover relaxation reimagined at Sunset Beach Resort, with beachfront stays and dining that blends local flavor with ocean views, perfect for families and couples. At Cuts and Curve Fitness Center, where health meets lifestyle, with personal training, meal plans, a full gym, and on-site cafe. The SNS Facade Group of Companies, building value, trust, and community across everything we do.
If your child doesn't understand what they read, SCA becomes 10 times harder. That's why Learn Smart TT has created an online comprehension and poetry course. This is completely self-paced with all tools accessed online. It's 30 passages, 30 poems. They can be downloaded or answered on our site. From there, students get access to answer sheets that have detailed options of how the answers could have been written. No other product on the market has this. In addition, they get access to a video tutorial with an expert teacher walking them through the passage or poems using high visuals and techniques to ensure they derive meaning. Also, we model how we derived each answer so they can do the same. If you want your child to enjoy all of these benefits and propel in comprehension, SCA, and general academic life, click the link above and register for this course and join hundreds of parents and students who are benefiting.
Our public officers, the backbone of our nation's workforce, have been made to carry the weight of the former government's neglect and indifference. This government is taking this bold and historic step to restore justice, dignity, and respect to the hard-working men and women of the public service. After 9 long years of stagnation, we are committed to finally bringing all parties back to the bargaining table to address this long overdue investment. On the completion of the bargaining process, we will work with the Public Bank, First Citizens Bank, and the National Insurance Board to find a comprehensive solution to discharge this national obligation. This government is focused on delivery and not delay, workers' rights and not neglect, appreciation and not excuses. In furtherance of the conclusion of negotiations for the civil service statutory authorities and the Tobago House of Assembly for the periods 2014 to 2016 and 2017 to 2019. The Honorable Prime Minister has instructed me to advise the Chief Personnel Officer to submit a revised offer of 10%. Mr. Speaker, promise made, promise kept. Because when the UNC wins, public servants win. Public servants win.
When UNC wins, Trinidad wins, Trinidad, everybody wins, everybody wins. Vote for peace, vote for love, vote for hope, vote for change. When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad wins, Trinidad, everybody wins, everybody wins.
Yes. The man come to me, you know. You see me stretching and come to me, you know. Hey, boy. Anyway, I wanted to go to something. That's why I was stretching out halfway across the table, hoping that, you know, he didn't cut. So they give me a second here. I wasn't expecting to be back on camera now, just now. Hold on. We're going to understand soon, just now. Try the clip going by. Oh, God. Hold on, huh? We just call it Twin Towers, boy. Yeah, well, yeah. Hold on, huh, people, just now. Don't leave. I was actually going to go to, No, you're surprised me, you know. I really wasn't expecting to come back by just now. I lost by Stuart Young. I seen all kind of thing, but what I want to see, you know. We did the. I will go to something else. Let me just talk about this real quick. It's not what I want to talk about, people. But when UNC wins Trinidad and Tobago, almost every single aspect of Trinidad and Tobago's economy wins. Just now, I know what I'm looking for now. No, it's not the Laventel. Okay, I can put that on, but it's not the Laventel housing thing. But it was shut around that time, though. Yeah, look at that. Even Laventel Housing Complex wins. People in Laventel wins. Central Bank. That is what I was looking for. And that would make more sense than to go to where we went today. Are you understanding the most? Look at here. Look at here. Now we could get to where we wanted to come to now. Now you could come to me. And then you could go to this. Anywho, so Trinidad and Tobago. That is what I was going to say. So you heard all of that. You heard all of who winning, what winning. The public servants win. The 10% is on the negotiating table. And fiscal 2026 is when I believe I would like to see that the public servants get their 10% increase. But let it be known, run the visuals. Let it be known, Trinidad and Tobago, that, let me say it, restart. Because I want to clip this. You got to follow me. Right? Ready? Hold on. Let it be known, Trinidad and Tobago, that during the period of 2015 to 2016, the annual budget was $63 billion Trinidad and Tobago. 63 billion. In 2016 to 2017, the budget fell to $53 billion. In 2017 to 2018, the budget was set to Trinidad and Tobago dollars 50.5 billion during a period of low revenue generation. In 2018 to 2019, the total budget expenditure rose to 51.8 billion. And then in 2019 to 2020, the budget was set at a total of $53 billion. In 2020 to 2021, total expenditure fell to Trinidad and Tobago 49.6 billion. And then in 2021 to 2022, the total budget was $52.4 billion. All of us start to understand soon. You're going to start to understand where I am going with this soon. Pay close attention. Go ahead with them visuals. In 2022 to 2023, the total spending was set at $56.1 billion, funded in part by higher energy prices. This led to a smaller deficit compared to the previous year. In 2022 to 2023 to 2024, the total expenditure was budgeted for 59, come and hear this, hear this closely, $59.209 billion. Run the visuals. In 2024, PNM, to 2025, the prior budget projected spending of $59.741 billion, all right? The lost $3 billion. The revenue was at $54.224 billion. And the total deficit, come back, Imbert, the total deficit was $5.517 billion. The $3 billion, the 2 point something billion went missing. The recent presented budget projected an expenditure of $59.232 billion and $59.232 billion against a projected revenue of $55.367 billion, resulting in a fiscal deficit of $3.865 billion. All right? You all heard how much billions are called, right? Billions. Plenty billions. But which administration lower gas prices and which administration raised gas prices with all the billions of dollars Trinidad and Tobago passing through? With all of the billions. That's the point, huh? With all the billions of dollars that I just called out there, I just painted the difference between the PNM and the UNC. They tell me in 2020, or they say back in 2015, the reason why they voted out Kamala Persad-Bissessy is because she thief out the money. And it's because she spent out the money, and while spending, she was spending here, there, and everywhere. I think you're going right director. Go to that HSF. HSF. Yeah. All right? They say she thief out the money. Look right here, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, all highlighted in yellow, Trinidad and Tobago. of monies Kamala put in. Come back to me. They say Kamala spent out the money. She engaged in wild spending. Look at the former Couva Children's Hospital, now Couva Multi-Trading, going back to the Couva Children's Hospital. Kamala built that. I put in the visuals for the schools, and look at this school that going up Trinidad and Tobago. I took it out, I think, oh God. But I just showed you the school, Lower Mover Government School. UE, University of the West Indies, South Campus, being reopened. Several school projects, over 200 or 100 and something school projects across Trinidad and Tobago completed. Look at the difference between the PNM and the UNC in all the billions that I just called out there, given that the projected revenue is just about $55.367 billion. A lot of persons coming to tell you today that it's not sustainable and that Kamala mad and she can't deliver on all the promises. But then I go back to this. Go ahead. Because they said the same thing about her 2010 to 2015, that she's spending real plenty. But it is the only administration that either did not tap into the Heritage and Stabilization Funds as much as the PNM did. Major difference. Who you trust your money with? Come back. So they go no and erase this. I don't think. I trust. A good thing I cut my hair. You might know, or they might find it as a joke, or no, not a joke, or they might find it serious, huh? And they might say, nah, you can't say that black people good with money too. But run that again, that right there. Oh, let's sure, right? You sure? Director, you sure? We trust your money with it. When you get paid and you what's not that come out your pocket for NIS. We trust that with PNM or UNC? Yourself? You trust it in your own pocket? Because we had to pay our contributions, right? Come back. We had to pay our dues in Trinidad and Tobago. We had to pay our share. We had to pay for gas. And when we buy gas, road tax. Bam, bam! Oh God, pothole. My tire gone. That PNM country. Right, yeah, you're going right. Director working, boy. Road and drainage to be repaired nationwide. I recall it is PNM that's a $200 million grant from the United States. Yay! We getting thing to fix road. And nothing, boy. Nothing. Don't go to that one yet. I want to go, scroll down. It have another one. Scroll down, let me see. Yeah, go to the drivers. Next one. Next one, scroll down. No, scroll down. There's drivers. Because this one's serious. KLS driving fee of $5,000. I don't really care about this. It's the bottom one that really hurt me. But anyway. The reason why I pulled this one up is because while they're talking about careless driving, fixing the roads important, proper street lights important. Y'all know where we coming out from. I'm going to say where we coming out from. But you gotta come out here in high beam. I know what TNTech doing. We had to come out this studio in high beam because it barely has street lights. So this one, I agree with. Once we fix the roads, yeah, 100%. Come back. But is which administration care and which one do not care? One administration give we area Peter Avenue. Area Peter Avenue. They give we area Peter. It pave. You have what do you call it? Solar panel lights. But the solar panel lights and the traffic lights is the same color. You know, The solar part, the LEDs that they have there red and the traffic light red. So vehicles ain't no real accidents and PNM leave it so. Yes, it has changed color now and then, it does go blue sometimes, but it ain't making sense. You only can listen to other people talk about that one. PNM give we, look how long highway building, highway build and fall down there in oh gosh, down at the end of the highway there. How I could forget the name, but it just come to my mind. Cedrus. What? Talk out now. Nah, not Point Fortin. The end of the highway. You all know what I'm talking about. Highway bill, Mosquito Creek. It's really a creek. Because look how long that going up. But don't worry. Kamala Prasad-Bissessar will complete it. Point Fortin. Just as Kamala Prasad-Bissessar completed the Tobago Hospital, and we have the airport, Tobago Airport, A&R Robinson. Remember the airport that you all want to see, right? A&R Robinson Airport, Tobago, set to complete next year, April or May, April. It should be in May, my birthday, so I could go across. Feel a little bit international. Because, oh God, Tobago, when you land in Tobago, it's like landing in your house. I enter my bedroom. I know. Tobago don't have an airport, it just have it have a field. There's a field in Tobago. But Tobago and the allocation for Tobago, $3.724 billion. 6.3% of the budget. I hear Tobagonians actually saying they could work with this. And it's better now than how it was for the past 10, 20 years. Imagine that. Just imagine that. Anyway, you notice Keith very quiet? Yeah, what Keith could say. Keith had a whole something that I can't say on the live tonight. I'm talking about the yam people. The yam that I can't say they come back. Don't come back because all they think I cussing the man is a yam. I can't say the yam on the live because we have no yam to get. We never get yam. So he had to go and hold yam. Right? And Imbert had a study, HYMC. You know what I mean, director? You know what I mean? Imbert HYMC. We'll take this call. That means how you manage your country, eh, Imbert? Good night.
Hey, big man. Good night.
Yes, man. Go ahead.
I would like you to break down the 10% because I see Kizzel make a live and she said the 10% will make sense. 10% come like 1%. I want to understand. Break it down for me now, please.
Understood. Not a problem. I'll most likely do that on a different live because I out of time tonight. But if you're listening to Kizell Jackson for information, then you ain't making much sense, huh? Because I ain't going to battle Kizell because we don't want to end up on social media in our feud with Kizell. But Kizell Jackson, I don't know, boy. It's either you're for poor people or you're against poor people. They got 4% increase before, now they're getting 10% increase now. So basically between the fiscal period 2014 to 17, right? Or 16, around there. The government offered them a 4% wage increase, which they accepted, all right? Which means that they will get 4% increase and that will be paid out as a back pay for them as a lump sum, basically. It's like a back pay payment. Government come today, Kamala Prasad-Bissessar, and she said, hey, well, even during the election, she said, hey, not 4% because, you know, we increasing salaries for parliamentarians, prime minister pension increase, judges get increase, and all kind of thing get increase. Yeah, 2014 to 2016, I'm going right. And then she said she's going to give an increase during the period of 2017 to 2019, that lump sum, and even before then. So because you accepted that 4%, Kamala not leaving you with the 4%. She said 10%, and that's going to be the negotiated amount come this year into next year, fiscal 2026. where you will see that major fiscal payout or budgetary payout. Did you know how much? It's about $280 million or so, I think, in back pay to persons and to meet up with the current wages. Well, not current wages, because we have not yet spoken about the fiscal period between 2020 to 2025. Right? That fiscal period still yet to be discussed. Let's just pray to God Kamala win the next election. Because it then means, that you're going to have to wait probably 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 stuff. Hey, the song comes to mind. But you're going to have to wait that long for another fiscal period. All right? She already win, buddy. Lovely. But let's just hope to God. 2030, the country don't be foolish like they were in 2015. And they say, oh, Kamala thief, Kamala thief. Go back to the HSF. Kamala thief, Kamala thief, Kamala thief. Yet, these are the facts by central bank. It's not my facts now. I didn't force these numbers. These numbers are given directly from the central bank. That says, again, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, money was put in. You'll understand the sheet, right? So, without the bracket, money in. With the bracket, money out. So, which one take money out? The assistant wearing red, the director wearing yellow. Hey, blue is my color too, don't forget that, Anyway, Trinidad and Tobago, that wraps up basically the budget and where we are at for the budget 2025 to 2026. So if you have anything you'd like to say, all you should say is when UNC wins, everybody wins.
When UNC wins, everybody wins. When UNC wins, Trinidad wins. Trinidad wins. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Tell your neighbor, tell your friend, now is the time to rise and shine. Tell your mother, tell your father, now is the time to decide. If you want leaders who can build, place your ex by the rising sun. If you want leaders who can lead properly, place your ex by the rising sun. On election day,